Rank 1. The Stray. You wake in snow deep enough to bury you. It has stopped feeling cold. That is not a good sign. A man hangs over the saddle ahead. He is still breathing. He will not be by morning. You do not stop. You cannot. Behind you, a whole town of lawmen, following the only thing you left them, tracks in the snow. A job went wrong. A boat. A dock. A bad night. You got out with almost nothing. A woman died back there. You do not think about it yet. You will, for years. You were a boy by a road once. Nothing to your name. A man named Dutch stopped his horse, looked at you like you were worth it. Him and an old con man named Hosea. They raised you between them, taught you to read, to ride, to shoot, called you family and meant it. You would kill for them. You have. You would die for them. You will. The year is 1899. The West is mostly tamed. A polite way of saying the trains got everywhere first. The men who lived in the gaps are running out of gaps. You are not an outlaw. You are the last of something. You just do not know it yet. You haul the dying man toward a fire that might not be there. This is the warmest the gang will ever be. Rank 2. The gun. You are not promoted. Nobody hands you a title. The snow melts. The gang comes down into a country so green it looks like an apology. A camp on a cliff above a cattle town. Tents. A cookpot. A fire that does not have to be hidden. For a few weeks, this is the best life you will ever have. You almost notice. You ride into town. A man tips his hat. You tip yours back. Boa, you say. It is the warmest you get. Most folks never hear more from you than that. You earn your place the only way the gang counts. You ride out. You come back with money. You stop a train on an open plain. The whole thing screams and sparks to a halt. You sit your horse and wait. You pull a friend named Sean out of a wagon. Bounty hunters had him. The camp throws a party that runs till dawn. You drink. You sing. There is a young man named Lenny. He gets you blackout drunk one night. The night becomes a blur. Bar fights, broken furniture. He keeps calling you Mr. Morgan, slurring it louder every round. Hold on to that night. You will want it later. At night, the gang gathers at the fire. Somebody plays guitar. Somebody loses at dominoes and swears about it. You keep a journal in your coat. You draw the things you see. A hawk, a river, a stag on a ridge at dawn. You have a horse. You brush it down every night. You will be amazed how much that matters later. An old man named Uncle cannot do chores on account of his lumbago. His lumbago flares up the exact moment there is work. It is the gang's most reliable illness. There is a box in camp. You rob a stagecoach, then drop the take in the box. So Pearson can cook a better stew and the camp can buy a tent. This is the family business. And there is Dutch at the center of it, talking.
I have a plan,
he says. He always has a plan. One more big score, and then the whole gang sails to Tahiti. There is already a fortune buried back at Blackwater. Money so hot nobody can ever spend it. That does not stop the plan. Nothing stops the plan.
Have some goddamn faith,
he says to anyone who asks when. You have faith. That is the job. The camp accountant is a small, cold man named Strauss. He sends you to collect a debt. The debtor is a farmer who cannot pay. He is sick. He coughs while he begs. He coughs blood, and some of it lands on your face. You wipe it off and ride home. You do not feel a thing. Remember that too. Rank 3. The Enforcer. Now your name does the work before your gun does. Men cross the street when they see you coming. The gang moves south, into a country of hanging moss and old plantation money. The jobs get bigger. The line you cross to do them gets thinner. You break a man's fingers for $15 he was never going to have. Then you carry the $15 home. You drop it in the box. You tell yourself it is just the work. There was a woman once. Her name was Mary. You could have had a different life with her. A house, a name, a man who came home. She still writes you letters you keep in your coat. You answer some of them. Then you stop. You chose this instead. You always choose this instead. Dutch finds two rich families who hate each other. He sets you robbing both while they smile at you. It is clever. It works. Right up until it doesn't. Two men in suits ride out to meet you. Pinkertons. Hired law. The kind that works for whoever has the most money and never, ever stops. Their man is named Milton. He offers you a way out if you give up Dutch. You laugh in his face and ride off. You will think about that offer later. You learn how fast this life takes people. Sean is talking, mid-sentence, in the street. A rifle cracks from a window. Sean is not talking anymore. No speech. No goodbye. The gang barely has time to look down. There is a nervous kid named Kieran. He spent months trying to earn his place, stirring the stew, keeping his head down. He finally earns it. Then the rival gang sends him back to camp on a horse, holding his own severed head in his own hands. You had just started to like Kieran. The wilderness is worse than the men somehow. A bear comes out of the trees. The screen goes red before you finish turning around. You bury what is left. You keep moving. By now you are very good at this. You are not becoming free. You are becoming useful. Rank 4, the legend. The biggest city you have ever seen. Gas lamps, electric light, trolleys on iron rails, men in top hats who own things you never will. This is the one last big score. The one that finally buys the way out. Dutch is sure of it. You are worth $5,000 now. Dead. On a poster. With your face on it. $5,000. For you. You half want to turn yourself in and collect. Here's the thing about the gang in a city. Every time they walk into civilization, civilization wins. They keep doing it anyway. It is the only plan there has ever been. So you rob the biggest bank in the biggest city. For about 90 seconds it works. Then the law is everywhere. Out front, Milton has Hosea, the old one, the wise one, the only voice Dutch ever truly listened to. Milton shoots him in the chest on the bank steps to make a point. The whole gang watches it happen. The first father of the family is just gone. There is no time to grieve him. There is barely time to run. Then they take Lenny, the kid from the saloon, the one who got you laughing. He is 19 years old. He goes down on a rooftop, running for the edge. You hear yourself screaming his name into the smoke. It does not bring him back. You make it onto a boat in the dark, coughing, soaked. Half the family dead behind you. The boat does not make it either. There is a line that goes around the camp. We're thieves, in a world that don't want us no more. You are starting to think the world is right. Rank 5, the dying man. You wash up at the bottom of the world, a hot green island called Guarma, sugar cane and salt water and nobody you know. A place nobody in a story like this belongs. Dutch stares out at the sea. He wonders aloud if you were all just born to suffer. Nobody asked for this part, least of all you. You watch him shoot a man who had already given up, for nothing. With a look on his face you have never seen. You cannot unsee it. You claw your way home across an ocean. Home is worse than you left it, and the cough comes back. The farmer's blood you wiped off your hand a whole life ago. It was waiting the whole time. You collapse in the street. A doctor listens to your chest. He says a word. Tuberculosis. He tells you to go somewhere warm and dry and rest. You sit in that little brown room a while. You do not say anything. There is nothing to say. Then you laugh. You are an outlaw with a $5,000 bounty. There is nowhere warm. There is nowhere dry. There is no resting. The most feared gun in 3 states, brought down by a sick man's cough, for the pennies you were sent to collect. You catch your own face in a window. You barely know it. Thinner, grayer, a man taken apart from the inside. You do the math the doctor would not say. Weeks, maybe a little more. The question stops being whether you die. It becomes who you are when you do. Rank 6, the betrayed. The gang lives in a cave now. That is not a figure of speech. A real cave. In a cold and rotten stretch of woods. The family huddled in the dark. Like the thing they spent their lives running from finally caught up. Dutch sits at the back of it, and he still has a plan. The law is at the door. Half the family is in the ground. And the man has a plan. He always had a plan. That, it turns out, was the whole problem. He finds a young native warrior named Eagleflies. He fills the boy's head with a war that was never his. Uses him, the way he uses everyone now. The boy gets killed for it. Dutch does not look back. Something in you finally goes quiet about him. So you spend what you have left setting things right. You throw Strauss out of camp for good. It is the first clean thing you have done in years. You ride out, dying, to pull John's wife from a prison wagon, because somebody in this family is going to live. And there, a Pinkerton finally tells you what you already knew. The rat in the camp. The one feeding you all to the law. It was Micah Bell, the 2-gun snake Dutch brought in over everyone's objections. The most hated man in the whole story. Sitting at your fire the entire time. A woman named Sadie Adler rides back with you. She started this a terrified widow. She is the hardest gun in the gang now. She is not done. She is never done. You tell the truth in front of everyone. Micah calls you a liar. Susan, the woman who ran the whole camp and kept this family fed and standing, goes for her gun. Micah is faster. And Dutch says nothing. The man who stopped his horse for a boy by a road. He looks at you. He looks at the snake. He chooses the snake. Rank 7. The good death. There is nothing left to save but one man. So you get John on a horse. You tell him to run and not look back. You give him your money. You give him your horse. Every way out you have, you hand to him. Then you turn and face what has chased you your whole life. The horse gives out on the climb first. The last loyal thing in your life, gone before you are. Out of habit, you whistle for it. Nothing comes. People joke that the saddest death in this whole story was a horse. Standing here, you understand why. You drag yourself up the mountain on foot, coughing. There is no version of this where you come back down. Micah meets you at the top. You fight him with everything a dying man has left. It is almost enough. Then Dutch is there. At the very end, you have one thing left to say to him.
I gave you all I had. I did.
He does not answer. He looks at you. He turns. He walks into the dark. That is the last you see of the man who raised you. You are alone on the mountain. You crawl to the edge, and the sun comes up, gold over the dark peaks. The first warm thing in a long time. A stag stands in the light at the edge of your sight, antlers like the ones you used to draw, back when there was time. It watches you. Then it is gone. And so are you. There is another version of this. A knife in the dark and no sky at all. You get the sunrise or the knife depending on the man you chose to be. Either way, you did not win a thing. No money, no Tahiti, no word from the man you called father. You traded 30 years of loyalty for one morning, alone, watching the light come up.
John made it. He is the only one. The rest of us? No. But I tried. In the end, I did.
Rank 8. The inheritance. You are gone now. The story keeps going without you. That is the whole point. Somewhere on a quiet hill, your grave faces west. In summer, wildflowers grow on it. Somebody makes sure of that. The man you told to run takes the money that killed everyone. He buys a little patch of land. He builds a house on it, board by board. He marries the woman you died to save. For 3 years, John and his family live the quiet life you bought them. They never once learn the price. Then a government man named Edgar Ross comes up the road. The law has a long memory. The frontier has none. They kill John in front of his own barn. His son grows up and hunts Ross down. And in pulling that trigger becomes the very thing his father died to keep him from. The cabin always gets built. The cabin always burns. And somewhere, right now, a man with a kind voice and a good plan is stopping his horse beside a boy who has nothing left to lose. He is telling him about loyalty, about freedom, about one last big score. He is telling him to have a little faith. The frontier does not end because the outlaws lose. It ends because there is always another boy by the road, and always a hand offered to him in the cold. The trains get everywhere first. They always do. The boy climbs on anyway. He always does.